Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
So we're back again on the old Zoom Aruma. And Bhava Bhakti, I think, did one, the last one she did on her own. I felt so bad, heartbroken that she's doing it on her own. And I also felt for all of you at home, you know, you didn't get to hear me and my comments.
Right.
So we've made arrangements for us to connect again. By the way, I'm in London.
I'm in New York.
New York, London, New York, London, London, New York. Which is interesting because she's from London, the UK, and I'm from America, and we're in the opposite places. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Okay, shall we read?
Yes, please. It's Canto 4, Chapter 20, Text 26.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
All right, text 26. My dear highly glorified Lord, if one in the association of pure devotees hears even once the glories of your activities, he does not, unless he is nothing but an animal, give up the association of devotees, for no intelligent person would be so careless as to leave their association. The perfection of chanting and hearing about your glories was accepted even by the goddess of fortune, who desired to hear of your unlimited activities and transcendental glories.
Wow.
Purport.
And can you scroll that up? Thank you.
Hold on. The association
Higher,
of...
please.
Oh.
Sorry, just so everyone at home knows that the bottom of my screen is covered with you on the projection, and I couldn't figure out how to move it. So you just need to scroll it up a little bit more.
Oh, I know, but I've got to make sure me and the viewers can see as well. Can you see it now?
I can see the first paragraph, yes.
All right, and I'll move it up after that, because otherwise it blocks you know, the viewers, what they're seeing.
Gotcha.
All right?
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Right. The association of devotees, Arya Sangama, is the most important factor in this world. The word Arya refers to those who are advancing spiritually. In the history of the human race, the Aryan family is considered to be the most elevated community in the world because it adopts the Vedic civilization. The Aryan family is distributed all over the world and is known as Indo-Aryan. In prehistoric... What?
Indo, not Hindu.
Indo, sorry. Not Hindu, Vindu, Indo. In prehistoric days, all of the members of the Aryan family followed the Vedic principles, and therefore they became spiritually advanced. The kings, known as Rajashis, were so perfectly educated as Kshatriyas, or protectors of the citizens, and so greatly advanced in spiritual life that there was not a bit of trouble for the citizens. Interesting to go to that from this verse, because I had different comments I would have put on the verse than on the paragraph. On the verse, you know, it's a little bit heavy. It's like, unless you're nothing but an animal, you know, you don't give up the association of devotees. For no intelligent person would be so careless as to leave their association. You know, it's quite wow. I was just thinking, because in terms of our services, what we do in New York, one of them is devotee care. and the importance, as is stressed by other senior devotees, of how we interact and behave with each other. It's very powerful, actually, because it really can make or break your spiritual life. So I don't know, I'm just looking at that now just to say, I don't know if devil's advocate, where I'm thinking, let's say I'm thinking, no, I'm not an animal. No, I have intelligence, but this, and this happened, and I'm now hurting, and I need to protect myself, and I'm just, can be taken another way.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's amazing. Sorry, were you finished?
Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing how just one verse and purport, there can be such a variety of angles and perspectives that could be, brought out. And your angle was quite interesting. I hadn't really thought about that. Of course, it was heavy to say you're like lower than an, animal. But I guess one thing just on comment to your comment is that, yes, of course, if, basically what you're saying is if devotees don't treat us nicely, then we'll feel like we need to leave the association of devotees. But I guess the retort for that would be, well, maybe you need to find devotees that will treat you nicely. So I don't think it's fair to say that just because this group of devotees didn't treat me nicely, that no devotees will ever treat me nicely. That isn't necessarily good math. So then it means we need to seek out. And maybe Krishna is trying to say that, there's some good association for you over here. So because you're not moving, then I'll stick a little pinprick in your backside and that'll get you to move a little bit. So sometimes it could be like that. But it's interesting because I was thinking that this verse is such a powerful verse for the importance of devotee association. That it's like you know yeah, who would give it up once having found it? It's like, you must be an animal, you must be insane to leave the association of devotees, because it's such an important thing. And this, my dear, if one in the association of pure devotees hears even once the glories of your activities, he does not basically give up the association of devotees. And the perfection of chanting and hearing about your glories was accepted. And what's the verse from the Bhagavad Gita? Machchita magata prana bodhiyanta parasparam katayantis chamam nicham tushanti cha ramanti cha. That the devotees, my devotees, are always finding it very relishable and finding great bliss and enlightening one another and conversing about me. So that's what Krishna says. So there you go. It's like, yeah, it's like we should find happiness in the association of devotees. But that's another thing. And you lowered it down, because then I also thought, now actually go up to the top, because obviously, yeah, it must say Arya Sangama up there somewhere. Yeah, there in the first line. Yeah, Arya Sangama. So Prabhupada immediately goes to this point on Arya, which is a word that's used in the Gita also. And so he's, because Arjuna is referred to as an Aryan. And here he picks that up. Now, of course, for someone who is not familiar with that from the Vedic cultural side, as soon as I would hear the word Aryan, the first person I would think of would be Hitler,
Yeah.
So it's an interesting thing how he that personality has simultaneously, we could say, put words into the mainstream, and the swastika symbol, which is actually a symbol. Swasti means auspicious. And he created that symbol to have such inauspicious meaning. And the word Aryan, he tried to build an Aryan nation. So it's interesting that term is coming from scripture, coming from Shastra, and it basically means an intelligent class of people. The kings known as Rajarshis were so perfectly educated that they protected the citizens. Now, I don't know if he was really protecting the citizens or his Aryan nation, but anyway, I just found it interesting that term was being brought out. So sorry, I'm rambling on a little bit.
Not a problem. Here's your verse, the paragraph.
Can you put it up a little further? That's it. Is that too much for the viewers? Because it can come down a little bit more. Perfect. The last line's a little blocked, but I'll read it anyway. You can move it up. That's it.
Right.
Okay. Are there only 3 paragraphs here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, move on.
The glorification of the Supreme Lord can be very much appreciated by the Aryan family. Although there is no bar for the others, the members of the Aryan family very quickly catch the essence of spiritual life. How is it that we are finding it very easy to spread Krishna consciousness among the Europeans and Americans? History reports that the Americans and the Europeans proved their capability when they were anxious to expand colonization. But at the present time, being contaminated by the advancement of material science, their sons and grandsons are turning into reprobates. This is due to their having lost their original spiritual culture, which is Vedic civilization. Presently, these descendants of the Aryan family are taking this Krishna consciousness movement very seriously. Others who are associating with them and hearing the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra from the lips of pure devotees are also becoming captivated by the transcendental vibration. Transcendental vibrations are very much effective when chanted among Aryans. But even though one does not belong to the Aryan family, he will become a Vaishnav simply by hearing the mantra, because the vibration has great influence over everyone. Wow, so that's a very deep paragraph in purport, which I didn't quite understand. It seemed that Prabhupada was saying at the beginning that history reports that Americans and Europeans proved their capability excuse me, when they were anxious to expand colonization. Not quite sure what Prabhupada means by that they proved their capability when they began to expand colonization.
Because they proved that when you colonize the country, you have power, you have authority, you take control.
Okay.
So proving, like the British Empire, right? When we were in school, we were shown on a map where it was, and basically, red dot. And basically the whole map of the world practically for the most part had red dots on it. And it was a thing like the British Empire, and it was like practically all over the world. So you're proving your capability, you're proving your prowess and your dominance, as it were, by expanding.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. But then Prabhupada goes on to say that they've lost, their sons and grandsons have turned into reprobates. Yeah. What does reprobates mean?
Isn't it like a loser, lazy person?
Yeah, probably, yeah. Yeah, and then due to their having lost their original spiritual culture, which is Vedic civilization. It's just interesting. It's like, sometimes you could just study Prabhupada's paragraph of a purport and, pull so many things out of it. But yeah, so he's saying that Aryans will naturally take up to it easier, but everyone can benefit from hearing about the glories of the Lord and the holy name, which is why it's also expanding so, much, especially through Western countries. Okay.
Right, can we move on?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Can you see it?
Not the bottom, but it doesn't matter as long as it's okay for the persons at home.
All right, Maharaj Prithu points out that even the goddess of fortune, who is the constant companion of Lord Narayan, specifically wanted to hear about the Lord's glories. And for the association of the gopis, who are pure devotees, the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, underwent severe austerity. The impersonalist may ask why one should bother chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra continually for so many years instead of stopping and trying for Kaivalya liberation or merging into the existence of the Lord. In answer, Maharaj Prithu maintains that the attraction of this chanting is so great that one cannot give up the process unless he is an animal. This is the case even if one comes in contact with this transcendental vibration by chance. Prithu Maharaj is very empathic in this.
Emphatic, not empathic. Emphatic.
Empathic.
He's in a fat tick.
Empathic in this connection.
He's not empathic, he's emphatic.
No, but isn't that like tomato and tomato?
No.
Empathic.
Emphatic is enthusiastic. Empathic means that you feel what another person feels. I'm pretty sure if anyone can comment on that, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because I'd love to learn, but I'm pretty sure if someone's emphatic, they're ecstatic, they're excited, they're enthusiastic.
I'm feeling very ecstatic now. Whatever. He was very enthusiastic in this connection. Only an animal can give up the practice of chanting Hare Krishna. Those who are not animals, but actually intelligent, advanced human civilized men cannot give up this practice of continually chanting Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Yeah, anyway, it's quite a tough purport. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one. What's tough? What's tough is the word and I was thinking, actually
empathic.
When you read Roman transliteration and from Sanskrit to English, so that the letters, so PH in Roman transliteration would be pronounced P, not F. But in English, PH together is F, like an F, like photograph or photosynthesis or like that. So empathic is not spelled with an H. It's just spelled MAPATH, empath.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking for the pronunciation of this word, it's easy to look at it and get confused and think it's empathic, but it's not. It's emphatic, because in English, PH is pronounced F. So if it was a Sanskrit word, you would be right. It'd be empathic. Still not empathic, but anyway.
Dr. Doolittle, thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, so what about the tough purport here you found so tough?
No, I didn't personally find it tough. I can understand other people would.
Why?
Because you keep getting called an animal and you're not very
Yeah, but
intelligent.
well,
But
maybe the people that are listening to this don't feel like animals because they're still in the associate. They're listening to us, so they think maybe these people are devotees, and I'm associating with them. Little do they know I'm not a devotee.
I'm not
So
sure
that's
what that point's got to do with anything, but
fine. Okay, well,
anyway. But yeah, it's interesting. And one thing I was thinking was that, yeah, I was discussing this with devotees maybe today, um, that you can go through the motion of sadhana bhakti, or oh yeah, I'm Hare Krishna, yeah, I'm a devotee, but you really need to solidify the actual hearing in terms of the holy names and the reading, because otherwise we're kind of like, just on the surface. So someone might look at someone and say, wow, they left, or they got, they got disgruntled, or they walked away, but they've been around for 10 years, they've been around for 15 years, but it doesn't actually mean anything if we're just like paddling, in the water. We really need to go deep. And when like here it says continually chanting, yeah, okay, but a parrot can continually chant. And let's be honest, a lot of us maybe just parrot like chanting. We really need to, there's a certain taste. We need to remind ourselves that these words are not just reading off the screen, but the holy name, there's a certain rasa, there's a certain reciprocation that comes with it. And then we should ask ourselves, wow, after X amount of years, am I feeling that rasa? So I can understand, therefore, when I was reading it, that yeah, you can walk away, because when you get, some test or upset or whatever, if my anchor isn't truly down, I think it was down, but it wasn't down, then I'm gonna get swept away, basically. Yeah. Yeah, we
so it's
really
interesting.
need to, yeah, just need to be really yeah, kind of,
Vigilant.
yeah, definitely, definitely. It's not the number of years, this is how we equate it in the material world. It doesn't matter how many years I've been around or how many titles or initiations. It really does come down to, are you hearing? Are you feeling that taste? Are you feeling the presence of Krishna?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a very important point. Yeah. Yeah, maybe even if we start to say to ourselves or say to others, look, I've been around for so many years. It's like, yeah, it's a very good point. I was thinking earlier that it's like been around for a few years and I just feel like I'm still at the beginning, because I am. Anyway, very nice. Nice to join you for Bhagavatam Bites. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for allowing me to be here. Thank you for having me.
All right.
I think we should call it a day.
Yes, okay.
All right.
Hare
Thank you very
Krishna.
much, everyone, for joining us, tolerating us. Really hope you get something out of these. Well, we definitely do. It's a good way to have a relationship with your spouse. I'm very grateful that Bhava Bhakti is able to read with me, tolerate me, and that we're able to read Bhagavatam together. So thank you very much, Bob.
Okay.
Yay. See you later.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.